Today we find ourselves in Chapter 2, Section 2, Part 3, a pretty small section about evaluating mixed economies. Mixed economies are a fact of life, and they can be found all over the globe. It's the most predominant system of economics that we have. They offer advantages and disadvantages to those who live within them. First thing is advantages. When we look at the advantages of mixed economies, countries having mixed economies seem to have them because it benefits the different components of their country. For example, in the 1970s, China's economic growth was poor in comparison with its neighboring country, Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong. Shortly after Chairman Mao Zedong's death in 1976, China's leaders undertook a modernization of China's economy that would lead to a heavy dose of capitalism, or capitalism with Chinese characteristics, as it was described, because it wasn't true capitalism. It was still a communist state practicing the whole idea of capitalism. So therefore, it was a mixed economy. China became one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and according to the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, the world's largest economy. To maintain this growth, China has endorsed various capitalistic measures such as markets, competitions, profit, and international trade. Still, China is controlled by the Communist Party, and the government owns all the factories and the factors of production. These changes would not have happened if they did not benefit the Chinese authorities, so the fact that they are happening is evidence that they are beneficial to its leadership. Similar changes are also happening all over the world, including countries of North Korea, Cuba, and even in the former Soviet Union. What's interesting about China is we're going to look at, in the next section, Chinese ghost cities and how the economic system is building up infrastructure in a country that can't afford to actually utilize it. This could be very, very interesting. Other advantages of the mixed economies are not restricted to communist-controlled command economies. In democratic countries of Northern Europe, countries like Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Norway, they maintain extensive socialist programs and offer generous education, employment, health benefits, and even their economics are based off of capitalism and free markets. Here in the United States, again, since 1939, after the Great Depression, socialist-sounding programs like widespread health insurance exist side by side with competitive markets and the ownership of property. So think about buying into health care providers, private insurance agencies like UPMC, Highmark, Blue Cross and Blue Shield. We still have that option as a free market society, but in the same sense we have Medicare and Medicaid, which are government provided. So that would be the socialistic part of our capitalist economy. There are also some disadvantages of mixed economies. Mixed economies with a strong component of socialism tend to provide more services to consumers than traditional command economies. For example, Germany and Scandinavia offer a wide range of social benefits that include medical coverage, free education, and even generous vacation time. The problem that all these programs have is they're really not free. You have to find a way to pay for them. So they're going to be paid for by taxes. As a result, personal income taxes are higher in almost all major European countries than they are in the United States. The other way that we cover the cost is to produce less of something else. So the cost of generous welfare programs can be absorbed by shifting resources away from other projects. So the interesting part of that is looking at the debate about healthcare in the United States. Some of the suggested because we spend more money in our military than we do on the other top 10 nations do combined, was there a chance for us to move some of that money, the extra spending, into healthcare to provide that as a service? So there's no such thing as a free lunch, which we talked about that before, is the concept that nothing, even if it's free, is actually free. So free healthcare, we're paying for it a different way, so it's not necessarily that way.